Thank you for calling Hail Mary Hotline. This is Bridget. Please hold while I transfer you.
Welcome to Hail Mary Hotline. I'm your host, Taylor.
I'm your host, Sarah.
Rough weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where do we start?
24-21. We were outplayed and outcoached and out-executed.
Which is a combination of a lot of things that don't happen very often. The outplayed, been there once or twice. That's something that, I can live with it. Outcoached is what bothers me.
By a bad Alabama.
Yeah. They didn't look like a bad Alabama this weekend.
Because they're the boogeyman. They never look like a bad Alabama against Georgia.
No.
And everybody walks out 5 feet taller.
Mm-hmm.
All Alabama fans.
All Alabama fans.
5 feet taller.
Not Georgia fans.
Mm-mm.
First home loss in 6 years.
33 win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Down the toilet.
Yep. And of course it was to Alabama. Because why wouldn't it be? Because why wouldn't it be? That's just... There's a lot to dive into here.
There is. So for this week, that's why we're choosing to do a 2-part setup. We're going to release this episode, which is just about Georgia and Alabama and what happened and where we need to go from here. And then all of our other Saturday snapshots and a revisit to our benchmarks that we called preseason are going to be on another little bonus episode coming out Thursday.
Your regularly scheduled Hail Mary Hotline will just be a little bit later this week.
Yep.
Yes. There's just that much to talk about today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The more pressing issue just happens to be Georgia, Alabama, and deserves its own episode.
Yes, it does. Let's get to it. So, 13 for 19 on third downs.
That is what won the game.
That is. Isn't that the most third downs that Georgia has given up in the Smart era?
In 30 years, actually.
30 years? I didn't realize it was that bad.
Most third down conversions Georgia has allowed in 30 seasons.
Wow. I did not know that.
Alabama went 13 for 19 on third downs. Georgia went 2 for 8, I think is what it was.
It was something like that. It was bad.
It was bad.
Bama was like 8 for 8 for their, the first half, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was not a good game. It was embarrassing.
It was...
Especially for us to be predicted to win. I think everybody went in there really hopeful. Everybody I've seen that, guests on the sideline were super hopeful. The atmosphere in that game was honestly one of the best I've seen from Georgia fans in a while.
Win or lose, obviously, outcome is not what we wanted, but what an atmosphere. From beginning to end, even before the game even started.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody on Instagram posted that it was an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff and the student section was already full. And with the wristbands that were synced to everything, it was probably the best atmosphere I've ever been a part of.
Oh, yeah.
However, it just didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 13 for 19 on third downs is definitely one of the things that won that game for sure. Alabama just came in really well prepared. They were almost flawless in the way that they were operating. I don't think you saw a more confident quarterback in that stadium than what we saw from Ty Simpson.
No, absolutely not.
On Saturday. And, I hate to say it, but, you gotta applaud the guy a little bit for how well he played.
You do. And I noticed Gunner came out there that first drive. He looked scared. He looked like he had never been there before. And, I can understand that there was a lot of pressure that game. He definitely had a lot of expectations to live up to, especially coming off overtime win over Tennessee 2 weeks ago. But, that first game, he just looked jittery. It's the only way I know how to put it. He just looked like he was trying to get rid of the ball super quick. He didn't really know what was going on. I think that was kind of the difference between him and Ty Simpson the whole game. He looked nervous.
There was a lot of pressure. And
Absolutely.
it wasn't coming from Georgia.
Nope.
He looked jittery. The boogeyman is real.
The boogeyman is real.
And it is Alabama, unfortunately. But you also got to remember that's his first game playing against Alabama.
Yes,
so
it is.
all he has is, everybody's saying, oh, here we go again. And I mean, granted, we did, but I think there were some other coaching decisions that also led us to that point, and we'll get into a little bit later.
Absolutely.
But I think, just the confidence in quarterbacks was a huge difference, and I think that also comes with confidence in everybody that's protecting you.
Yes.
So, O-line.
That was another big difference in the game because Alabama's O-line, even when we did have enough guys up there to rush and try to put some pressure on Simpson, we just couldn't get through him. And I feel like that was not the case for Georgia's O-line. It seemed like everywhere we looked, there's people coming to the backfield trying to get Stockton. And he, to his credit, ran for a couple really good runs, but still, you have got to give your quarterback that kind of time.
And Caden Proctor is the shining star and story of defending the box when it comes to Alabama.
Yeah.
6'7" and 366 pounds. Nothing was moving that guy for the world.
No.
And I think we kept trying to put somebody on his end to go through him, and we needed a twitch edge to run around him. And that's just not who we put up, so I expected a little bit of a better matchup. I had seen some people really looking forward to seeing how Proctor would play, but there was nobody against him that would even give you something to watch.
Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is why we didn't rush 4 or 5 all game. Because I could have told you last week that the key to beating Alabama was putting pressure on Ty Simpson, and I feel like we just did not do that.
No.
And I don't understand.
Yeah. There's a lot that comes with that, and how Ty is a very, very much a passing quarterback, which is, I think, something that Georgia did a good job of, was holding their run game, because they didn't rush for much of anything. I mean, they rushed for 117 yards. Georgia rushed for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns.
But on the flip side of that, Bama threw for 280 yards and UGA only threw for 130.
Which is our fewest passing yards since 2022. So, I mean, where Ty really killed us and where Alabama killed us is, and oh my gosh, we probably talked about it, because Ty rolls.
Yes.
Like, no tomorrow.
Yes.
Really predictable. Just almost every play you saw him roll, either to the left or the right. And we were playing man-to-man for a while, which you just cannot play if you're going to try and get to them.
No.
You got to play zone a little bit. And you got to have rushers with some twitch that can actually get around the brick wall. The fat and slow brick wall that is protecting Ty Simpson.
Somebody didn't go through flag football rush training.
Evidently.
Evidently not.
Well, not that I did either, because I was only thrown in there for one play. Because I ran someone over.
We did good.
But I got there.
That is what matters.
Best believe I was fast. Did I do my job all the way? No. But I got there.
You put pressure.
But I put pressure.
And that is what matters.
That's what matters.
They need to take notes.
Seriously. But yeah, they had a lot of pre-snap motion, which might have shaken up our guys a little bit. I don't think they knew which way they should have protected, which is, I think, just sloppy on Georgia's part.
We looked confused, especially the first half. We looked a little bit better the second half. I still don't think we looked great, but I mean, we did manage to hold them scoreless during the second half. But it feels like every time that we went out on defense, it looked like somebody didn't know where they were.
And it's not an excuse, but it helps. We're just young.
We are young.
A lot of the big game-changing mistakes that were made by freshmen. So I think that's where they all look scared. I mean, I would too if I was a freshman. I got thrown out to Georgia, Alabama. On, my second or third game of my entire collegiate career. I'd
be scared.
Yeah.
Talk about baptism by fire.
Seriously. I don't think you could drag me onto that field.
No.
But at the same time, you gotta trust everybody else around you, and you can't miss your assignments.
No.
That's where it doesn't matter if you're a freshman, if it's your first time ever stepping foot on a football field, period. You can't miss assignments like that.
No, you can't.
So that's where, Alabama's throwing game absolutely destroyed us.
Yes, it did.
I mean, their running game was not efficient at all.
No.
They averaged 3.1 yards per carry. But still, it didn't matter when they were throwing like they were.
No.
It didn't matter when Ty Simpson wasn't missing.
It seems everywhere you look, there was somebody open. And if there wasn't somebody open, they found a way to make the catch. It was just one of those games where they had like the magic hands and Georgia didn't.
Well, looking at who we're up against, Alabama has, I think, one of the like highest range or highest paying wide receiver rooms in the country right now.
Yes, they do.
I know Ohio State has a lot going for them, and they are up there.
They are.
But nobody has done what Alabama has done in the room wide receivers. So it's the kind of thing we were outranked.
We were.
So
we were
no
outmatched.
wonder they're throwing the way that they are. No wonder they only have 117 rushing yards, because they don't need to run when they're throwing, and they know that wherever they go, somebody's there to catch. And our man-to-man can't keep up.
Nope. I mean, if the throwing game's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, after the first two drives, if Georgia cannot figure it out after the first two drives, then you might as well keep doing it until they do. And clearly they never did. Because even in the second half, even though we never gave up a score, Georgia still struggled with it.
It was still pretty dang close.
It was. Like, every play, I feel like I was, like, holding my breath. My heart rate got to, like, 110 at one point during that game. It was bad. But it's, like, third down especially, I think, is where the problem was. Because they would tie rolls, and then it's, like, 2 or 3 receivers open downfield. And as soon as I see the ball leave his hand, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's over now.
It was atrocious. We couldn't make adjustments.
It was a third down game. And, I mean, 13 for 19. Like, I know we keep saying it, but that is what sums up the game.
Our defense just could not adjust the way that they needed to.
No.
Not the way that we showed up for Tennessee and made so many adjustments to combat their running game.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my gosh, we weren't making adjustments.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, no wonder they're not changing anything after 3 downs, because they don't need to, and we're obviously not. We were playing catch-up all game, and we never actually caught up. We were not adjusting the way that we needed to. We weren't, like, we were just outplayed.
We were
outranked. So no wonder it shook out the way that it did. It just, yeah. Focusing on offense, I think, a little bit. We'll go offense, defense, and then to key players.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way that we usually run, but just to break it up a little bit. I know that we've mentioned before when we kind of did our whole little run through. Yeah, offensive line was not protecting the way that they needed to.
No, they were not.
And when it comes to also, I think our running back room, which usually does pretty well. I feel like we've collected a few really good people. I know that Bowens had one heck of a game.
Absolutely. I mean, 12 carries for 119 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
Go Bowens.
Go Bowens. I like him. He runs hard. Every time you put him out there, he finds a way to get a yard.
I really like his chances. I was not too impressed by Frazier this game.
I haven't been super impressed with him all season. Like, he's had some good moments. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to deny him that. But overall, I like Bowens and McCray better than I like Frazier.
I think comparatively from last season, where we saw Frazier come up as this true freshman and was making such a difference in games, I think that we're struggling a little bit, especially the past 2 games.
He struggles with ball security, and that's scary.
Yeah. If you're going to be a running back, ball security should be your first name.
Yes, it should.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're improving the run game, because I think it's the only thing that kept us in the game at all.
I agree.
I think if it weren't for the way that we've put work in and tried to improve, because we are not a running team historically, we would have just crashed and burned, and I think Alabama would have put up 40 on us.
I agree.
And they could have easily.
They could have.
Yeah, so want to applaud Bowens and McCray a little bit for the game that they played. Offensive line, just struggles.
Hey, Sam Pittman. I know you just got fired, but please come back. Please come back.
And I'm waiting to do a little rant and scream about Bobo, but I don't think all of it was what he called.
No.
I know that they sequenced a little bit in the end, and that was a huge deal breaker for a lot of Georgia fans. but I know it's super easy to look at how everybody did and just blame Bobo's calling.
Some of it was lack of execution.
Some of it was just lack of execution.
It was. He called some really good plays, like the drop pass. You all know which one I'm talking about. I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but it's number 11 because that was Arian Smith's number.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't Arian Smith.
No, it wasn't, but it might as well have been. But like, that was a beautiful play call, beautiful throw. I mean, you catch that ball, that is a touchdown, and that might have been the difference in the game. You can't blame Bobo for that one. He threw out something totally new that we hadn't done all game, and it just didn't work. Like, I really liked the play call.
I did too. Gunnar could not have been better timed for that.
No, I mean, it was perfect. He just dropped it.
He was set up for success. I mean, he slid into goal range.
Yeah, he did. I mean, you catch that, that's a touchdown.
Yeah. But it's ball security.
It is.
Okay, if you're a wide receiver, if you are in any kind of
catch
position
the
to
ball.
catch a ball, you're going to hold it like it's your newborn baby.
Because it is.
Because it is. That would have been the game.
It would have. And I know nobody feels worse about that than he does. And there were more things than that made us lose the game, but that's just more of an example of it's not all Bobo's fault, but we'll get there.
And I think that for the sake of time and argument, we're going to address 4th and 1 at the end of all of our other points.
Yes, we are.
To spend a little bit more time on it.
Mm-hmm.
Another plus for the offense was 0 interceptions.
That was great.
It's drop passes or something else, but 0 interceptions is at least one thing on Gunnar's part where he made his marks. I think a lot of it had to do with timing.
Yes.
But I think with timing comes a lack of protection and getting nervous in the pocket.
I think he made better decisions on when to throw the ball and who to throw it to, and I think that's what kind of contributed to no interceptions.
I think Tennessee raised him up a little bit, and he had learned how to make better decisions, which it just comes with game experience.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this was his 5th game of his 6th of his career.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that comes with game experience. I think that he grew and definitely played a little bit better, but I think with, poor timing comes with poor protection.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody looked more crammed in the box than he did because he was throwing over guys' heads. Any one of them, because they're all like 6'5" and 6'7", could have thrown up an arm and blocked one of those throws.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not for lack of trying.
No, it's not.
Mm-mm. And then, of course, actually completing your passes and making your throws comes with, sticking to your assignments, not tripping out of bounds before you catch a ball, keep both feet on the floor.
Yep.
You know who you are.
Yep.
And not dropping the ball. Ball security should be the first thing that you learn.
It should.
You crash and burn before that ball leaves your hands. So, a lot of it, besides maybe a few too many bubble screens like we see every single week, a lot of it isn't just Bobo's calling. I think that he called well within the range of, experience for his players. I think that they just let him down and they played sloppy. Mm-hmm. We were not a well-oiled machine this week.
No, we weren't. And that's not something I feel like you see a whole lot from a Georgia team. At least not in recent years.
But something about Alabama.
Yep. They just, if it's anybody other than the Alabama on the front of the jersey, I would have felt great about that game. But it's just...
They just bring out the worst in Georgia.
They do.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Defense. Let's move on a little bit. Yeah. I think our coverage decisions were not great.
Yeah.
I think especially when we saw Ty roll almost every single play, and we weren't moving with him because we kept playing man-to-man. But eventually, if you're playing man-to-man for 7, 8 downs in a row, and you can't keep up with those wide receivers to do your man-to-man job, I can understand where you think you can't play zone in a lot of those situations, but help yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Just I mean, I'm not saying that I could have made better decisions because it was a complicated offense.
It was a very complicated offense. It's not something that I think Georgia's defense is used to playing against. It was kind of a different style of offense than they're probably... Like, it's a very different offense than Georgia. And I'm sure during inter-squad, they probably, like, have some semblance of running an Alabama-type playbook, but it's not the same. To some extent, it's always Georgia's take on an Alabama offense, and you will never be able to really execute against the real thing until you're there.
And I think our defense was just gassed.
Yeah, they were on the field half the game.
Yeah, and if you're running as far and as long as Alabama is throwing for all those downs, I mean, you got to be gassed chasing after them.
Yeah, you got to.
That's an endurance game.
Yeah.
Time of possession absolutely killed us.
Yes. On this subject, that last drive during the fourth quarter, where was our sense of urgency?
You couldn't have paid him to move slower.
No.
Or faster, evidently.
No. Just, like, I understand, like, to some extent, you want to burn the clock. Theoretically, you drive down the field and score, win the game, and you don't leave Alabama enough time to score. But if that's your plan, call some creative plays. Don't run it up the middle and call the bubble screen.
I get wanting to run the clock if you're tied.
And we weren't.
So at that point, you want to get them off the field as fast as possible, which is where defense comes in. So that you can turn over downs and get Gunner back to try some Hail Mary.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, but we needed it. And we dropped our last one. So that's where it was hard. We played a complicated offense against a complicated offense where I think defense didn't know exactly what to do. I think our safeties were lost in space. Because I don't think we were dropping as quickly as we needed to. I think our linebackers were getting danced over. And our linemen could not get around for anything.
No.
Like, no wonder Ty did anything but yawn because he didn't feel any pressure.
No.
He didn't need to. He could have sat back for 10 seconds because he
did one drive.
Chose to.
I don't remember which one it was, but I swear he was back there for 20 seconds before he ever threw the ball.
Yeah, because you can.
Yeah. Because Georgia evidently cannot break through their line.
Small and fast only plays small and fast if you can actually get around to play pressure.
Yes.
So, not a ton on defense.
Yeah.
But it still.
Yes.
Still. And key players, I know that we mentioned a little bit, but just going back to Caden Proctor.
Yeah.
Was, the shining star of Alabama's O-line.
Absolutely.
And then, Chauncey Bowens. I don't think we can applaud enough for the way that he honestly saved our butts a little bit and kept us in the game.
It would have been a different game without him on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And then McCray, I think, also deserves a shout out. He went 6 for 15. We were kind of spit and sputter.
Oh, yeah.
Offense. So when it comes to getting those little bit of yards,
you've got two running backs who have proven time and time again that they can keep pushing, keep running, and get that 1 extra yard, 2 extra yards every time you put them on the field.
Yeah. When you need dirty yards,
those are your guys.
McCray's getting you dirty yards.
Yeah.
And then, Stockton even went 5 for 22.
Yeah.
So when he needed to, he tried to get out and run up a little bit. He was getting you dirty yards. Because when what else are you going to do when you're about to have 6 linemen, crushing you?
Yep.
You try and get out of the pocket.
Sometimes the middle's wide open. Just go.
Yeah. But that's where you also have to applaud Gunner a little bit to make those kind of decisions and actually get out when he needs to. He's not scared to get in the dirt, so thank God.
He's not.
Otherwise, I think that we would have been in a world of trouble.
Amen to that. So, do we go to the elephant in the room?
I think we have to address it. All right, let's talk 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Because I know that this is I think the biggest controversy of this entire game, and if you're going to hear anybody talk about this game, they're going to talk about 4-1.
This might have been the biggest controversy of the weekend. Because, some of the other games were close, but this is one of the things where it's like, if you go look up a recap of the weekend, this is what you're going to see. So, what are your opinions?
Okay. I know that Kirby said 10 times over he would have gone for it. I think you chip shot and you go for the field goal. I think you at least tie the game, and then you count on defense to turn around. There was 10 minutes left on the clock.
There were.
I think you kick the field goal. I think you throw defense back out there and you try like your life depends on it to hold, or at least run the clocks where they don't have enough time to score. Try and force a turnover on downs, and then run after that. Go to overtime if you have to. That might be the better chance, like the better opportunity. So at least you get a commercial break.
Yeah.
And then
free timeout.
You get a free timeout. You get to have a little bit of a reset, get your mind back together, and then keep marching on. Why we didn't tie the game is beyond me.
Now, I've seen a little bit about this, so for argument's sake, let's say Kirby does kick the field goal. They get it. They go to overtime. Georgia has a really good record in overtime over the last couple of years, but still. Do you think that he gets hate for not going for it? Because I could see that too. Because he's gotten hate in the past for playing it conservative and taking, the tying field goal and going to overtime. And instead of saying, you know what? Why not? I'll go for it. If I don't get it, at least I went out trying to win the game. And to some extent, I understand the thought behind it of, it's Alabama. We need to win this game. So the ambition I can appreciate. I still think he should have gone for the field goal.
I think if there were less time on the clock,
it'd be a little bit different.
I could justify going for it 1,000%. Like in every single scenario, you go for it.
Mm-hmm. But with 10 minutes on the clock, I think you have got to take the field goal and take your chances.
And also, I think without Chauncey McCray, Jones is not the guy to run that ball for you.
Why do you give it to him? Of all the people that you have on that roster, and I understand that he knows his personnel better than anybody, why do you give it to him?
It works so well against Tennessee for a reason, and I understand the thought process and the sequencing, but you gotta know
who to give the ball to.
Who's your best chance to get the ball past the line of scrimmage?
And that was Bowens.
Or that was McCray.
Now, going back and watching the replay, Jones was a missed block away from essentially having a touchdown. Right tackle missed a huge gap, and Alabama lineman went straight through, and that's how he got Jones back down behind the scrimmage. But still, I still think that if you gave it to McCray or Bowens, he maybe finds a way to get past that and get you over the line.
That's where I had seen a little bit of talk where, like, McCray was limping a little bit at that point. Bowens was pretty beat up after playing the entire game for us, which I understand.
However,
with Jones, I don't know. And also, it's that missed assignment. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly cost us that play.
Mm-hmm.
That was also made by a freshman.
Yes.
So that's where, like, it's not an excuse, but I mean, our coaches always told us that, like, our mistakes were their mistakes.
Yes.
So at that kind of point, I think even if you have, like, a redshirt junior who doesn't get much playing time, but who you might trust a little bit more in practice, who at least gets a few more reps in that situation, I feel like I would pull somebody with a little more game experience off the bench and then maybe put them in instead of that freshman right tackle, who I think the play was moving a little bit too fast for.
Mm-hmm.
Might not have been able to keep up with the tempo of the game. And then just Jones.
We still had all our timeouts then, too, didn't we? Why don't you set up, try to draw them off sides, take the timeout, reevaluate your play, and then send them back out there and go for it?
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of ways that I think you could have gone about going for that 4th and 1 that was not the way that you did it.
Even if it was a different play call.
Yeah.
Adjusting for who you have on the field.
Absolutely.
Not just your 4th and 1, there's 10 minutes left, we got to get this out.
I mean, it'd be different if, again, there were 30 seconds left on the clock and you've got to get that play out. That is completely different. But no, 10 minutes left on the clock with 3 timeouts left, that's when you take a timeout or try to draw them off sides and then take your timeout.
Or you call up to Bobo and say, hey, McCray and Bowens are really beat up. We have Jones. Like,
what do you want to do with him?
Look at who you have and adjust accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do know your personnel better than anybody. So act like it. You call for your personnel, in a sense.
Here's my thing. If I were Bowens, I'd give anything to be that guy on 4th and 1. Like, I don't really care how gassed I am. I'd be giving my everything to make sure that I got that 1 yard.
Yeah. But also, it's when you pull up the kicker and you...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even if you call it a cheap shot and you get hate for not going for it, you have 10 minutes left on the clock. You have the time to breathe, and you have the time to kick. It's not going to kill you if they get the ball back, because then you have, let's call it 8 minutes to hold them.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they probably would run you for 6 to 8 minutes.
And you give your defense a little bit more to fight for. When you're down, I think it's a little bit harder to play defense because you're like, oh, well, offense hasn't done anything. What's the point? Which I don't think that's like exactly what they're thinking. But when you're tied, you have a little bit more to fight for. Because it's like, if we can stop them on this down, then our offense can get the ball back and run it down the field and win.
Or if nothing else, we can get off the field and breathe.
Amen to that.
Which, honestly, whatever gets the job done is the way you got to think.
Yeah. But I think if you take that field goal, you give your entire team just a little bit more to fight for. Yeah. And maybe push them over the edge. And even if you do go to overtime, we're what? 4-0 in overtime in the last? 3-0.
Something like, we own the 4th quarter, whatever.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
That's what it says on the Jumbotron.
Yes.
But it's just, I don't know. I feel like there were a couple more ways to play in that situation. And I think that with the pressure of, like, that's just the decision that was made. And at the end of the day, we're not anybody's coach. This is not our job. We can say whatever we want.
We can say a lot of things.
We can say a lot. But we don't know everything that was...
No.
We don't know everything that was going on in that decision. We don't know if Bobo could have called anything else. We don't know what was going through their minds when Jones was the one to carry that ball. We don't know how hurt or beat up Bowens and McCray actually were. We don't know who else could have gotten on that field. We don't know if they could have made any substitutions. There's any number of things that could have
been going on.
So I think it's good to talk about it and, kind of look for gaps and ways that it could have been played differently or what might have else been going on.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, with the situation that was laid out, at least for us in the stands to see, in whatever world, I think you kick.
I think you do.
And that's kind of the hill that I'm dying on.
I think I agree with you. Like, I can understand, and you and I talked about this before we started recording. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge analytics person. They are not your end-all be-all. They are a tool to be used to evaluate over the course of a season or a couple years and say, well, in the last 3 seasons, Georgia is, let's just say that they're 92% on 4th down. That does not take into account the situation. Sometimes you just have to look at the field and say, I don't think this is a good time to go for it. The numbers do not dictate your coaching. They can help, but they cannot do your coaching for you.
And that's where I think Kirby and the Georgia coaching staff are big on analytics. They're big on the process and trusting it. And that's where I think the whole sequencing call came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in a lot of situations would have been the right call 100%. But I think that when it comes to trusting that process, and Kirby is so big on the process to how they do things.
Yes.
At some point, just to throw out there, if your process, following the same one over and over again, doesn't get you where you need to go, and is doing, just not doing what it needs to do, then where do you start questioning the process? Is it the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? So just food for thought.
It is.
So where do we make adjustments in coaching staff and in the process of how we do things? Not relying solely on analytics. No. Putting a little bit more trust into the situation in front of us. I think putting a little bit more effort into making sure that our guys are executing. I think tempo is something we need to practice.
Yes.
A lot.
Clock management.
And clock management. But where I think it's okay to adjust your process.
Yes.
And I think the all reliable isn't all reliable right now. So, I don't know. Food for thought.
Yeah.
So, I guess from here we look ahead.
I think we do. We've got Kentucky coming up this week, Ole Miss next week, and then we've got Florida and Texas and Georgia Tech, which scares me.
Mm-hmm.
There's another couple games in there that I'm not thinking of at the moment. I know we play Charlotte, which theoretically will go about the way we expect it to. Auburn, that's the one. That's who I'm missing.
They're just forgettable this season.
I don't know. They're leading the nation in sacks. More to come on that one in a couple days.
Yeah, but I guess let's address Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that we should beat Kentucky.
I think it's either going to be a really close game or Kentucky's going to be sorry they came to Athens. I don't really think there's going to be any in between.
And I'm hoping it's the latter.
Amen to that.
I'm hoping that we breathe for a few days. We make some major adjustments. I hope that some people have time to recover because I know we've been facing some kind of long-term injuries this season. Not as many, kind of abrupts like the ankle injury in our first game, but, that are tweaking with some people a little bit, especially our O-line and D-line. Our linemen are kind of struggling with injuries right now.
Yes, they are.
So, I hope that everybody's time to recover from this game. I hope that they don't carry this into the rest of the season.
I don't think they will because, like we've said for however long now, this game is just different. And I think this will kind of give them motivation of, well, we lost to Alabama. We need to make it up. We need to win every game from here on out. We need to prove that we are a better team than we showed on Saturday.
Because right now, the way it's looked like they're not the elite team we need them to be.
No, they're not. And I'm not sure that they ever will be this season, but I'm trying to think of the right words because I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't think of the right words. I think they'll put in the effort to be that team. I don't know that they quite have the talent to be that team this season.
I think we need to grow a bit.
I do too.
I think that this season is just going to be some growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, if Alabama is the only game that we lose up until, the end of the regular season, nobody can be upset. I'm sorry, nobody can keep giving Georgia individual games are different. In Bobo, individual games are different. But as a whole, I think that fans are way too I think that Georgia fans are way too spoiled, and we give our coaching staff. I'm not saying that we are exceptions to this.
No.
What you see off camera is what you don't see off camera. So.
There's a reason for that.
But I think as a whole, we need to give a lot more grace to the Dogs because we continue to be a really young team.
And still manage to be in the conversation as a young team.
Every single year.
Yes.
Even when we're down, we are never out of conversation, out of championship contention.
No.
We get there. Alabama just happens to be our bump in the road. So what? We're Tennessee's. Pick a team. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
So I think that we still have a lot to hope for the rest of the season. I don't think that this defines us for the rest of the season. Does this suck? Absolutely. Yes. Don't get it twisted. That was a silent car ride.
It was. It was quite silent.
I sound sick right now. It's not because I am. It's from screaming on Saturday. So, don't get it twisted. Our hearts and minds were in that game.
We haven't experienced a loss in Sanford Stadium since we were 14. This is
please.
Yeah. Please do not get it misunderstood. This was devastating.
Yeah. And not just, it was a devastating loss.
It was.
But, final thoughts?
Rough game. Do better the rest of the season. That's about all I got.
Yeah. I think we talked through a lot today.
I think we did.
I think that we discussed a lot of things that were kind of up in the air for Georgia, Alabama. And there's unfortunately going to be no Bridget's Bell in this episode because we are just looking at the Georgia-Alabama game.
This was our therapy session.
Yeah. It was.
It was.
But we will have to look forward to a bonus episode coming this Thursday where we are going to revisit our kind of preseason benchmarks, look at some of the other games that happened this week, where we think the SEC is going for the rest of the season. We will complain about the AP poll in that episode. Don't worry. And Bridget will also be back.
Yes, she will.
For some game time entertainment.
Yes.
So with that being said, I'm your host, Sarah.
I'm your host, Taylor. Thank you for joining us on Hail Mary Hotline. Go Dogs!